Hello everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Miss Huda and I teach Java programming. Today I want to talk to you about two-dimensional arrays and the difference between two-dimensional arrays and one-dimensional array. Let's suppose that we want to declare a one-dimensional array of integer, so we just say integer array using the square brackets and let's call it ARR1. This is declaring a one-dimensional array. If you want to declare a two-dimensional array, you should say int and then square bracket and another square bracket and you say ARR2. In this case, you declared a two-dimensional array of integer in ARR2. In the first array, we just need the number of positions or the number of integers this array will point to. In the second declaration, you need a row number and a column number. So let's allocate the first array. The first array we allocated by saying ARR1 is equal to new integer and let's use 10 integers. So the first array is pointing to 10 integers starting at position 0 and ending at position 9. In the second array, we say ARR2 equals new integer and then we give it the number of rows, let's say 5, and then the number of columns, let's say 3. And this allocates a two-dimensional array of 5 rows and 3 columns. So how do I process the one-dimensional array and the two-dimensional array? So for example, if I want to print the one-dimensional array, I need just one loop to go through all the elements from 0 to 9. So I will say for int I equals 0, I is less than ARR1 dot length and then I plus plus. Let's for example print the elements inside this array. So system.out.print ARR1 sub I. So this will be sufficient to print the one-dimensional array. So this is printing the one-dimensional array. So what about printing the two-dimensional array? In this case, I need two for loops. For int I equals 0, I is less than ARR2 dot length, I plus plus. So this is going through each row one by one, from row 0 to row length minus 1. So this is the first loop. The second loop goes through the columns one by one. So I will say for int j equals 0 because also the columns starts at column 0, then j is less than array sub I dot length, and this will array 2 sub I dot length, and this will figure out how many columns in this row. And the last I say j plus plus. If I want to print element by element, I should say system.out.print array 2 sub I sub j. So I am giving it the row number and the column number. So here the I goes from 0 to array dot length, but the j goes from 0 to array sub I dot length. If every row has the same column as the other rows, then we can say array sub 0 dot length. If the number of columns is different from one row to the other, then it is safer to say array to sub I dot length. Alright, so this will print for us the array one element by one element. So I want to print every row in a separate line and then print a space between one element and the other, or a tab, for example. Let's print a tab between one element and another, and after the end of each row, then I want to print one line. So let's just put an empty print after each row. So this is the end j and this is the end I. Let's again say system.out printing the one dimensional array, and here we should add system.out printing the two dimensional array. Let's run again. So the first one prints the one dimensional array, and the second one prints the two dimensional array of 5 rows and 3 columns. Okay, so what if I want to pass the array to be printed in a method? Then quite easily I should say public static void print 1D array and give it an integer array and the name ARR. Inside it I should put these statements, and here I should call print 1D array and give it ARR1. If I want to use another method to print the two-dimensional array, I should say public static void print 2D array. The parameter in this case will be int square bracket ARR, and I should move these statements starting from here until here. So the statements regarding printing the 2D array, and put them here. Instead of ARR1 or ARR2, just call it ARR here, because it's only one array inside each method, and remaining is to call print 2D array and give it ARR2. So we cannot use the same method because here an int array and here int array. So this type is different than this type. So we have to use two different methods, and if we run, we will find the same exact output. This is printing the one-dimensional array, and this is printing the two-dimensional array. So we can also use methods and pass our arrays as parameters to these methods. Here we just pass the name, here we receive the type and the name. Here it's a different type, a two-dimensional array and a name. And that concludes our video today. Thank you for listening.